So let's go to the telephone. Let's bring on another modified driver. He happens to be my nephew, Dennis Elliott, who has come down to Valley Speedway for the last 3 weeks and had 3 top 3 finishes, including 1 win. He won a couple of weeks ago out here, and he's planning on making a run back down here to Valley Speedway tonight. Am I right about that? You coming down tonight, Dennis Elliott?
Yeah, we're planning on heading down here after a while, Kirk.
So you got a brand new race car. It's a new GRT car, and right out of the gate, you finished in like 3rd with it. Then you won with it, and then last week you came from 10th to 2nd and finished right behind Terry Schultz out here. Obviously, the best race car you've ever owned. This is a straight GRT car that you purchased here. You did a little bit of work to it, though, right?
Yeah, we've had a lot of help with it. I mean, TC Knowles and TC Motorsports helped me out a lot. Of course, Jim Moody and I talk a lot. I've a lot of familiarity with GRT back when I was, wrenching. We used GRTs in late models, and we had one before the last car we had. That this definitely. I made the comment last night to somebody. I said it's kind of like when you're a kid and you go ride your amusement ride. I said you never want it to end. So it's been pretty good the first 3 nights anyhow.
Last week you got started at the back of your heat race, so it was kind of tough to work your way. You were in a really stacked heat race, so that put you back at 10th spot, but you're able to maneuver your way up to the front. Are you surprised you were able to get up that far by how far back you started?
Well, yes, because, there's definitely some good cars, running down there. And the first couple of weeks we were fortunate to get good passing points in the heat race and started up front. And without any, familiarity to running this thing, I didn't know how good it'd be coming up through traffic. But, the restarts and whatnot helped us in choosing the right lines and whatnot. Everything just worked good. It seemed like I was really making the bottom work good where a lot of guys weren't able to do that last week. And, once I got to 2nd, then I moved up the racetrack. It seemed like the car was better. But the biggest thing I think I got caught up doing was I was actually overdriving the car. I mean, when you got something working good, it just, you want to try to get a little more out of it. And your first thing you're thinking is drive it harder. Well, I think I was actually overdriving a little bit. But, Terry Schultz, you got to give it to him. He did a whale of a job. And, in the little bit of time that I've raced down in that area, he's probably as best there is at running the high side. So I knew he was going to probably have to make a mistake for me to get by him. But all in all, it was a good night.
Hey, listen, Dennis, this is Scott. I got to ask you real quick. There's a known fact that up in Iowa, there's more race tracks per capita than any other state in the United States. But you choose to come down to Valley. Is that a reflection more of it being IMCA up there and you wanting to run USRA? Why the pull down to Kansas City or Valley Speedway instead of staying up there in your neck of the woods up there in Iowa?
I just like the competition level. I think that the competition level is a little bit step above it. I mean, I'm not putting down IMCA guys because there's a whale of a bunch of good IMCA guys. I just, more than anything, like the rules package that they offer. It's a little more flexible. You can run, you take, for instance, last week down there was 3 of us, basically, the top 3 cars. You had Schultz that I believe probably had a spec motor in, USRA spec motor. I ran 2nd with a flat tappet cam motor, and Dean Willie ran 3rd with a crate engine. To me, they've got a pretty good level playing field with the rules to where you can get guys with multifaceted things that can come together on one track and everybody be competitive.
Yeah. Well, and I think everything that Todd Staley's done with USMTS and USRA, and we're starting to see, it kind of reminds me, I don't know about you, and your dad's been around for a long time, so maybe you can share your thought on this, but it seemed like back in the day, IMCA, that growth spurt that it went through back in the early 80s, they started in 1979, but then you go back and you look at it, that growth spurt, how it just kind of went like wildfire across the country. I see a little bit of that going on with USRA right now. I mean, I get out into the Southwest and the West Coast and all over the Midwest, and we see a lot of the tracks going to that. Do you think we're seeing that same kind of transition as we saw with IMCA a few years ago?
Well, I think with time, they really went after this in the wintertime. I mean, they stepped up and went after some more racetracks, and they've got them, and, they've aligned them in regional areas where guys can run multiple racetracks with the same rule packages. The thing I like about it is, there's one simple rule that I like, just quick change rear end, When we had the 9-inch stuff, I had 8 dropout gears, and you figure $500 a piece, that's $4,000 worth of gears right there. You go buy you a quick change rear end, and yeah, your initial investment might be a little higher as far as the rear end itself. But, with the gears, you got an opportunity to change, during the night. If you get rained out, it's not such a hassle. The biggest deal I look at is a lot of times I go racing, and it's just me and my dad or, 2 other people with us. We just got to look at things that make it easier for us during the night to be able to stay on top of it. Or if we had 4, 5, 6 guys, it might not be as tough to change the 9-inch gear in between races. But this just works out for us. I just like the components, like the aftermarket lower control arms, things like that. I mean, it's this time we kind of step up a little bit and start using that stuff because, like the control arms, for instance, I mean, you can't go find any Chevelle genuine A-frames anymore in a junkyard. They're gone. So you're buying ones that are made in China. Why not support the American welder that's welding the aftermarket ones up, and you can use those. Kind of my thought process.
Hey, Dennis, I want to talk to you about a special guy in racing. We lost here a couple of weeks ago, Russell Baker, one of the legendary engine builders, of course, well-known around dirt late model circuits. But you were very close to Russell Baker, and he'd done a lot of work for you. Talk about that. You dedicated your win out here to Valley Speedway a couple of weeks ago to Russell.
Yeah, Russell's a great guy. That's what I've told a lot of people. I said, we become friends. He owns some property up here, and he's a real avid deer hunter, and I really enjoyed that probably as much as racing myself. So him and I talked a lot, and like I said in my interview there a couple of weeks ago, there wasn't a night that went by. He's got a lot of big name guys that help, or that he's helped and built motors for, but there wasn't to be a night to go by that you wouldn't race. The next morning he wouldn't be calling you up, wanting to know how you did and stuff. And, we talked a lot of things other than racing and just become good friends. I mean, he kind of valued his business on relationships. Besides business, we were just good friends. So, he found out there at in the February, 1st of March, that he'd been diagnosed with leukemia, and they'd give him 30 to 90 days to live, and he passed away there a couple weeks ago. And he's just a real close guy, a real nice guy, real fun to be around. He was just a man's man, the way he conducted his, way he just, went about his life. And so, we'll miss him a lot, that's for sure.
What set him apart as an engine builder? What really made him great? Because he was a big figure in dirt racing.
I just think more than anything that he was just a people's person, and he had a big heart. I mean, he might not come out, he just seemed like he really cared about people, and just building personal relationships like that with people, is going to turn into good business in my opinion. But and he was real meticulous in the way he did things, and stuff like that. And it was really a pleasure to be able to work with him. That's for sure.
Now, last year you got caught up in a points battle at Corning. A lot of racers I talk to say that's no fun. It's too much pressure to deal with that. You fell just a little bit short. How fun is it now to not really think about going for any kind of points, just going out there trying to win races?
It's a lot of fun. I enjoy points racing at some point. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to win, I think, 4 or 5 points deals. But it's just, it wears on you. And the biggest deal was, they did a points average start over there. And, we were a high points guy all year and just come up a little bit short there at the end. And kind of going to the racetrack, looking forward to starting 6th row every night was kind of kind of makes it a little bit stale, you know. And I like going and racing different racetracks, hitting around when I can, and you know, it makes a lot of fun. You know, you get to racing with the same guys a lot, you know, and you only get as fast as the guys you're running, so it's kind of nice to go around and hit around a little bit and see where you stack up with the rest of the world.
Osborne at the US 36, that's a fun racetrack. You always like going there. I'm sure you're looking forward to going to all the races they have there.
Yeah, we're planning on hitting those on Friday nights, or I guess they kind of got a multi-night deal this year with the specials they're running, and we're anticipating probably hitting those shows this summer. Really like running up there at US 36. We've had some real good runs up there. The track's been wonderful up there the last couple of years, and so we really look forward to running them shows that he has.
All right, Dennis, we'll let you get at it. You got a big travel day to get down here and go racing tonight, and look forward to seeing you out here. Good luck.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
We'll talk to you later.
All right, Dennis.
You bet.
All right, there he is, Dennis Elliott. He's off to a great start out here at Valley Speedway. 3 appearances, 3 top 3 finishes, man. Not too bad. Not too shabby.